Okay, I'd like to call this meeting of the Town Council to order for Thursday, August 19th, 2021. If you would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Announcements. So the town hall offices will be closed on Monday, September 6th for the observance of Labor Day. Upcoming town council meetings, Thursday, September 9th, 7 o'clock, a regular meeting. Thursday, September 23rd at 7 o'clock, a regular meeting. Thursday, October 14th at 7 o'clock, here a regular meeting. And Thursday, October 28th. That's a lot of upcoming meetings. All of them being held here in the Matthew Thornton room. Paul, did you have any announcements?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Parks and Rec Department's next free movie night in the park will take place on Friday, August 27th at 7:30 at Wasserman Park. They'll be showing the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which was rescheduled from an earlier rainout. Any questions, please contact Parks and Rec at 603-882-1046. Merrimack TV will be covering several Merrimack High School varsity sports home games live this year. If you're interested in volunteering as a play-by-play announcer, please email Merrimack TV at merrimacknh.gov. Once again, that's Merrimack TV at merrimacknh.gov by August 30th at 4:30 so they can get you on the schedules. And they are really interested, if you are interested in announcing soccer games, field hockey games, those are the two sports that they're really looking for somebody who would want to be announced on some of the home games there. The next Household Hazardous Waste event will be held on Saturday, August 28th from 8 a.m. to noon at Pelham Senior Center at 8 Nashua Road in Pelham, New Hampshire. Once again, this is a change for the Household Hazard Waste event. It's being held in Pelham, New Hampshire at the Pelham Senior Center. Transfer station facility will be closed to the public on Wednesday, September 22nd for employee training event. The Public Works Department is pleased to welcome Jason Vashon, Highway Maintainer, Brandon Whitney, Wastewater Mechanic 2, and Henry Bouchard, Highway Equipment Operator 1, to their team. And if I butchered any of your last names, I want to apologize in advance. And lastly, the Community Development is pleased to announce the hiring of Stephanie Brin as the new part-time Community Development Secretary starting on September 2nd. Stephanie is replacing Sharon Haynes, who transferred to General Government in July and brings experience in the medical and higher educational administrative experience to the position. Thank you.
Sharon brings that information.
They both do.
Oh, they
Stephanie and Sharon.
Okay.
Sharon keeps me on my toes in General Government, and Stephanie will keep Tim on his toes in Community Development.
Awesome. Does anybody have any questions for the announcements? No. Nancy?
Thank you, Tom. I just wanted to make a public announcement about an opportunity for residents to be involved in something involving our last rest cemetery. Jen DeFelice did post on some of the social media forums that the last rest cemetery in Merrimack will be participating in Wreaths Across America to honor the veterans laid to rest there in December. She posted the website. It's www.wreathsacrossamerica.org if you'd like to learn more. If you want to be a member of the committee for this amazing event, please message her or email her at Jen, Jen, DeFelice, DEFELICE, @yahoo.com. The first meeting will be on Wednesday, September 1st at 7 p.m. at Broadway Bound. So anybody can certainly reach out to her. I think it's a great opportunity for the community and to remember our veterans around Christmas time. So thank you.
Awesome. And while we're doing ad lib announcements, just a community reminder, we do have openings on the on the planning board and the zoning board, looking for people. So if you have an interest, by all means, look into it. contact either the chair of the committee or anybody that's on the committee, or any of us on the council will be happy to talk to you about it. But I know that I was at the planning board meeting Tuesday night, and there were only 4 of us there because others were out of town or on vacation or something like that. And there's several openings. I think 1 full-time and a couple of part-time or alternate positions. So if you have an interest, by all means, speak up. We need the input of the community on all the different committees in town. Is there anything else announcement-wise? Seeing nothing. Comments from the press and public? Is there anybody in the press and public who wants to make a comment to the town council at this point? Seeing none. Recognitions, we have none tonight. Appointments. We have the hot dogs for ALZ event follow-up and a walk to ENDALZ and Alzheimer's discussion submitted by Robert Bergen and Jennifer DeFelice and Ron Sloan. Bob, are you going to come and present to us? Town council to receive an update on the annual hot dog for Alzheimer's event that was held on Thursday,
I get the cheap because I know where the camera is. So.
June 24th. And to be presented with details of the upcoming walk
We will
to
not have lawn signs for the upcoming walk.
ENDALZ that is scheduled for Saturday, September 25th.
Right. First of all, I'd like to thank the council for their support.
Can you turn your mic on?
The-
Thank you,
The
sir.
line's on, the light's on.
Is it on
Is
now?
it better now?
Right, yeah,
Okay. I thought the light was on when I walked up.
yeah.
Yes, I'm the captain of the Hot Dogs for Alzheimer's 6th annual event that we held here in Merrimack on June 24th. There's 2 people that this year were not on the committee prior, and their influence was remarkable. One was a woman who became our social media coordinator, and I want to give a shout out to her because she took us from no website to an extended website to personal information to data that was on every single table. As you walked around, you saw facts about Alzheimer's, you saw information, and I don't have any of that social knowledge, but Holly Sloan, a Merrimack resident, graduated Merrimack High, helped us step up so that people could walk around and get educated without having to grab a whole lot of literature. A real shout to her, and I appreciate what she did, because when I tell you the numbers, a lot of it comes from having found the right people. The other person, I don't know. After 6 years, I didn't think I needed any advice. But after meeting with Paul, he gave me more advice than I thought I could handle, but all of his advice came out to be true. His little inputs about our signs, our locations, people to talk to, people to deal with. He joined the team, he got a hat, he was very enthusiastic. If anybody could have pulled it off, he did. When Chris Sununu didn't leave his office because of the budget committee issues that were going on, he didn't know it, but I was a little high because right after the events, I had 2 surgeries. And I was not exactly in the best shape that day because I had oral surgery scheduled and cataract surgery scheduled. So I was a little bit of a mess. But Paul took care of every little detail when the governor didn't show up, and he paid attention. He was there assisting, but he assisted before that. Some of the ideas you had that I hadn't tried, once I tried them, I went, oh, that's a good idea. Oh, I get credit for this, I get credit for that. But a lot of what our success this year was due to the fact that our town manager participated in the event, and Holly Sloan helped me participate on the social media side. With that said, I thought we had plenty of hot dogs. We had 2,000 hot dogs, 2,000 rolls, lots of ketchup and mustard. At 3 o'clock, we were almost out. We didn't know what the dinner crowd would look like, but we knew what the lunch crowd looked like, and we never saw a gap. We bought another 300. The grand total this year was 2,240 hot dogs consumed by 1,100 people, bringing this year's total to $11,690. Over 6 years, the Merrimack community has eaten and consumed $32,000 to the Alzheimer's Association of New Hampshire. It is beyond anything I could have imagined 6 years ago, but Every year, new people step up. Nancy's scheduled for 2, she stayed 6. You scheduled for 2, you stayed 3. Everybody that volunteered stayed longer than they were supposed to. That helped us. As the event got bigger, my volunteers didn't leave. It made it a lot easier. I must say, I'm not sure how it got arranged, whether it was the fire department's idea or your idea, but if you weren't there, I had the July 4th parade in the middle of the hot dog event as, what was it, 1 ambulance and 3 fire trucks showed up? And they drove across the church parking lot. And I thought the PD was going to show up thinking there was something wrong. But they all had it coordinated. The PD stood there and watched them all walk in, and then people got their pictures taken with everybody. And the people dealing with the disease just couldn't believe our community did what they did. I can't believe it, and I'm standing there. But I think it's a great feeling. It's a good feeling. Thank you, Paul, for your ideas. Thank you for your support. You opened up a lot of doors for us. And when we kept getting bigger donations and more donations, and more people volunteering, it was an amazing event. So that's it. That's our numbers. Next year we'll do it again, always the last Thursday in June. In the process of having a web coordinator, we now are called Merrimack End Alls, one word. So ENDALZ, Merrimack. Holly has set it up so that as we progress from one event to another, we'll be able to have photographs and information so people can say, hey, I might want to do that walk. I might want to participate. We have 2 really top-notch people, Jennifer DeFelice and the Broadway Bound crew, and Ron Sloan and Team Aldo, which is his crew, which is also a chunk of my crew. I have been on Ron's walk team for 5 years. I don't walk all 2.5 miles, I will admit that. I walk as far as I can go, I stop, I wait for them to come back, and I join the group, and I finish. So I finish about 1 mile. But I'm 75 years old, so I'm not trying to pretend. It's an annual event in New Hampshire. It's held at the Fisher Cat Stadium. Everyone meets. You walk up into the stadium. Everyone gathers there. They have a Pledge of Allegiance, and then everybody walks out the first base side, and then I don't know how they're going to walk around this time. But we walk across the river and the bridge, and we go across the highway, and everybody waves to the traffic and makes everybody startle, because you just don't know why there's like 20 minutes of people walking across the bridge. But having never walked across that bridge in all the years I've lived here, I thought it was kind of cool. But, you know, I see it from the highway, but I never walked across it. So we are looking for people who are interested in participating. It doesn't matter to us which team you join. It doesn't matter to us if you go up there and you haven't joined a team yet, you'll know there's 2 teams from Merrimack. One's the dancers, and they're going to look like dancers, and the other's going to be the Aldo team, and we just look like older people. We do have some young people in our group, but it's an exciting thing to do. People have been asking me, well, when is the walk? When is the walk? It's September 25th, and it is on a Saturday morning. We all gather around 9, and I think it takes off around 9:30. I don't exactly have all the finite particulars because I'm not a team captain. So that's it. We will have 2 events, Merrimack. We will have 2 teams on the walk, and God help us, I have no idea what next year is going to bring. When you start running the numbers we run, it's impossible to believe that 6 years ago we were just 500 hot dogs. So now it's a very big difference. So I appreciate everyone that came. I specifically want to thank the public who this time we didn't run out of hot dogs. This time they came, and the evening crowd was shocking. You were there at lunchtime. I can tell you. He was there at dinner. We had more people at dinner than we had at lunch. And I didn't think we could tolerate the lunch crowd. And because families came at dinner. And I think many people, many town employees brought their families and came back. We saw pockets of families and families and families. And when you had 17 tables set up and they're all occupied, it was like, okay.
Great.
So we did end up with 50 hot dogs and a little bit of this and that left over. So we had leftovers, not much. So again, thank you to everyone who came, everyone who supported it. Alzheimer's is not going away. But we approved something that I didn't believe, I just didn't dream we could do this much with this many people. So if you're interested and you want to look to the future, You can go on the Longest Day website, pick out Merrimack, and volunteer. I take any volunteers and all volunteers. I have found something for everyone that says I can help to do. I mean, I need people who can fold chairs, to fold hot dogs, to do whatever, and it's just a good feeling. And if you're into walking, join us for the Central New Hampshire Walk. On that day, there will be walks in Wolfboro, Portsmouth, Keene, Hanover, and Manchester. So it'll be quite a day throughout the state, so there'll be 5 different locations. So just don't go to one of those. You have to come to Manchester. Thank you, that's it. I don't have any other else. Anybody has any individual questions? Because I know the firemen want to talk about their gadget.
Does anybody have any questions?
Not just commendation to you.
Well,
Great job. Thank you.
It's really it's a good feeling to talk to people, whether you're in Shaw's or, somewhere else in the town. I would like to bring up one sore subject and just ask you to consider it. Paul, you and I had a conversation about something. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen of the committee, can you really make a decision about why you write a proclamation? Because I raised this question to the previous grand night, the previous town manager, and then I raised it to Paul. When you give a proclamation out, nobody knows about it. I'd like to see the town consider posting, if you give a proclamation to a family for years of service, if you give a proclamation to me for an event that's a charity event, I can't post it in the town hall. I can't put it at the library. The library says I charge. So, okay, you pay $5 for 2 hot dogs and a drink and chips. Although that's pretty cheap. But the policies of the town are that you can't post a proclamation anywhere in the town. Would you consider sometime between now and next year? Because you did just give out 2 proclamations to 2 fine families, the LaRue and the Christensen family. And unless you knew those 2 families, heck, when we give the Rothaus family their proclamation, nobody's going to know who they are either. But I'm just saying, just as an idea, I don't have any method, but I did say, Paul, maybe we could come up with just maybe put it up for a week. Then people would see it. Then it would be acknowledged. I mean, I don't need any more acknowledgement than my group gets. But I'm just throwing out there that if you're going to do a proclamation for anyone, retired employee or whatever, maybe you could put them up in the town hall for a week or something, just as a thought. That's my only feedback to you.
Great, thank you very
Goodbye.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Turn this off.
Appreciate it, Bob.
It's off. I'll take my time back now.
Okay.
And you're not leaving, so you can't get a proclamation. Even if you were,
You'd be
you're the
deserved.
person in the room.
Have a nice evening.
Okay. We have no public hearing scheduled for tonight. Legislative updates from state reps. We did get a letter from Maureen Mooney, Representative Maureen Mooney, saying, "Greetings, town councilors. 1, the bill filing period for next year is September 13 to 17, 2021. So people, if you have thoughts on bills and you want to work with somebody, better get it done because it's coming up quick. Number 2, HB 236, an act creating a statute of limitations on civil actions relative to damage caused by PFOAs and et cetera substances, passed in the House and the Senate and was signed by the governor into law on July 23rd. The following bills passed through the full House and the Senate and will be signed by the governor soon. That would be HB 271, an act relative to standards for per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, PFAS, in drinking water and ambient groundwater. And House Bill 235, an act addressing impacts to other water users from new sources of water for community water systems. I don't recall that one, but. And then number 4, Merrimack legislatures plan to meet with the Citizens for Clean Water on Zoom soon to discuss potential water legislation. If any town councilors are interested in attending, please contact Maureen at the information below. And 5, please know, I was recently appointed by the Speaker to the House Finance Committee from the House Election Law Committee, so apparently she's changed committees. Thank you for all you do. Respectfully submitted, Representative Maureen Mooney, Republican from Merrimack. And if you are interested in that and don't know how to contact Maureen, we'll get you in touch with her. Okay? There's no other state reps or senators here, which brings us to town manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A new donation box has been added to the amenity of our solid waste facility and is located near the swap shop. Books have been in the swap shop for an extended period of time will be relocated to the donation box, where they will be recycled by outside vendor at no cost to the town of Merrimack. The wastewater Phase 3 project update. Methuen Construction, Wright Pierce, and WWTF staff we're actively working on the first segment of the construction project, which involves the review of all design specifications and procurement of the equipment. Methuen Construction will begin working on the sludge holding tanks next week. This portion of the project involves lowering the height of the tanks 4 feet and changing the configuration of the diffusers inside the tanks. The planning board heard an initial presentation on the development of 50 Robert Milligan Parkway at their August 17th meeting. Nearly 325,000 square feet warehouse distribution facility is being proposed for the parcel, which has been an economic development priority parcel for many years of the town. No specific tenant or tenants have been identified at this point, but the site is being developed by a prominent Boston-based real estate development firm. The board will next meet on the project on September 7th. The Highway Division participated in the New England Regional Plow Rally yesterday in Boxborough, Mass. Equipment operators Dean Stern and Chris Donaldson were invited to represent Merrimack against 14 other teams all over New England. There was some good competition, and though we didn't place in for the national championship, it was a great experience for all. And finally, I'd like to bring the council kind of up to speed or what our thoughts are for Saturday, September 11th festivities. What we're thinking, talking to the police and fire departments, is to actually hold the remembrance at Abbey Griffin Park in the morning around 8:30 and have a moment of silence for when the first plane hit the towers. And a presentation, and the American Legion and VFW have been invited to the events as well. In the evening, the American Legion, who has been doing this event for the last 20 years on the evening of September 11th, will once again be holding an event at the Legion that night as well. Our honor guard will be at both events in the morning and in the evening for that. They do about a 15-20 minute event every year, maybe even a half an hour event for 9/11. So there will be one in the morning at when the plane hit the first tower, and then one in the evening at the Legion for that. There'll be, the agenda hasn't been set, but there'll be a proclamation probably coming forth to front town council on September 9th at that meeting. And then the chair, we'd ask the chair if he would like to speak at that, if he can make it, if he's on vacation at that.
No, I'll be here.
Okay, then we'd ask the chair to say a few words on behalf of the town and the town council. And that was basically the rough sketch that we have for the event.
Do you know what time in the evening at the American Legion, by any chance?
I want to say between 5:30 and 6, but I am not 100% sure. But talking to one of my friends over at the Legion, that's what he said. It'd be usually around that. But I will definitely get you a time.
Is there a way we can communicate this beyond us?
Actually, we are in the midst of doing a press release. I asked Matt to hold off on the press release in case the council had some other ideas. But we have a press release ready to go for both events, to publicize our event and
Maybe
publicize
on
the
cable and
Legion.
Facebook?
Yeah, we're gonna pass it through all our social
Perfect.
medias.
Excellent.
Be on our homepage as a press release and try to get it that way. Once we get our event, we're gonna talk to the commander at the Legion and give it to them and the VFW as well, so they are aware of it as well. We will put it up on our website, and Matt will put it in his flyer that goes out. Parks and Rec flyer as well.
Any other thoughts or questions? Thank you very much.
Okay. That's
Sounds
all I
great.
have for my town map.
Okay. We don't have a consent agenda or old business for tonight, so that brings us to new business. Committee appointments. As I mentioned earlier, committees are in need of people, and fortunately, we have a couple of appointments to make tonight. The town council is to consider the appointment of the following individuals to town committees pursuant to Charter Article 4-8. Steve Perkins for Conservation Commission as a full-time member, and Charles Chuck Mower to the Zoning Board of Adjustment as an alternate member. Anybody want to consider a motion to accept those?
I'd be happy to make a motion to appoint Steve Perkins to the full-time position on the Conservation Commission and to appoint Charles Chuckmore as an alternate in the Zoning Board of Adjustment.
Second. Made by Nancy and seconded by Andy. Finley and I interviewed both of them, and Steve is a reappointment, but because of the three committees that we require interviews with, we had an interview with him as well. And I think he's also chair at this point, so we were happy to promote him forward, and we had a great conversation with Chuck Moore, and feel that he would be an asset and an advantage to the zoning board as well. So we're hoping you will support this motion. Any other comments? We'll call for a vote together, unless you want to separate them. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? That passes 6-0-0. By the way, Barbara Healy is excused tonight. I should have made that announcement earlier. She's out of town and couldn't attend. So, Chuck, you want to come on up and, or stay back there, actually. Pencil.
Oh.
Right there.
Back here.
Tall enough for me, I'll just talk loud. So, we need to have you do the typical swear-in, so if you could.
It's so much easier to hand up and say read it.
I, Charles Chuck Mower, do solemnly swear and sincerely swear that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent on me as an alternate member of the Zoning Board of Adjustment, according to the best of my abilities, agreeable to the rules and regulations of this Constitution and laws of the state of New Hampshire, so help me God.
Awesome, congratulations. I need you to sign,
Gotta sign your life away
you're
now.
the appointee.
And read that ethics package.
You have to read this out. Knowledge received. All right. If you could sign this acknowledging receipt of this code of ethics document. Okay, this is yours to keep, to study, to understand. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Chuck.
And we'll have the documents over at the town clerk's office for for Steve Perkins to come in when he has a chance to. Oh, I need to send these around. I'll keep this, keep that. Take this. Okay. While we're all signing that. Number 2, the acceptance of a donation for the Merrimack Fire Rescue submitted by Interim Fire Chief Harris. The town council to consider the acceptance and expenditure of a donation in the amount of $5,000. Sorry. Acceptance and donation for Merrimack Fire Rescue. The town council to consider the acceptance and expenditure of a donation in the amount of $5,000 from Digital Federal Credit Union to Merrimack Fire Rescue to be used towards the purchase of a Furno Power Stair Chair pursuant to RSA 31:95B and Charter Article 815.
Thank you,
Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Bye.
Paul.
I just want to say the DCU Credit Union has been very generous to this town, and they continue to give back to this town. Just recently, they had a $5,000 donation for the library. They had a $5,000 for police, and now they have $5,000 for fire. Couldn't have come at a better time. The fire department came with a problem about some of the firefighters needing help with some of our residents when they were doing lift assist, bringing them up 14 steps, turning the corner, bringing them up another set of steps. Some of these individuals were causing injuries to some of our fire department staff, and the fire department took it upon themselves to look at a solution. They have a solution. The first day they actually were testing the chair out, they received a call, and they used it, and I was at the fire station that night, and everybody who was on the call was just glowing with this device, this chair, the stair chair, that how easy it was to use, how much it was much easier for the whole staff to be able, the whole crew to be able to lift this gentleman up and bring him where he needed to go. So that's my 50-cent overview. Chief?
Thank you very much for allowing us to come forward.
Is your mic on?
Oh, there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing us to come forward and accept this donation. Like Paul just said, this couldn't have come at a better time. As he said, we have some injuries that have occurred from people from moving some of the people in town. And with the help of this chair, I was were able to move somebody in less than 5 or 6 minutes up all those flights of stairs that he's talking about. After talking with Paul, he tasked us to finding a method to do this, and which we did. We brought the idea to Paul, and he said, find a way to fix it, and he'd be more than happy to help us find a way to pay for it. When this DCU grant came about, couldn't come as a better time. We have a great opportunity to purchase the chair to keep our people safe and people in the community safe also. Kind of show you how it actually works, we brought it with us. It's actually a chair that it'll hold up to 500 pounds carrying a person. The tracks in the back actually fold down, and it actually drives itself up the stairs. By lowering that,
Drives itself, you said?
it drives itself.
Motorized?
It has a motor on the bottom,
Oh,
and it's battery operated. And the battery on a single charge will go up 30 flights of stairs on a single charge
with 500 pounds on it.
with 500 pounds on it. As they were just saying, I was lucky enough yesterday to go to the same call that they did the first one. We actually went up a 3-foot wall that's in front of this house using the machine, and it walked right up the wall. And once we got up to the top, we went to the stairs, up the flights of stairs. We were back in service in about 10 minutes. Last time we would have to send 8 people, 6 or 8 people, and it would take us up to a half an hour to help this person.
Oh.
And this kind of puts us right back in service. We're able to do a great job. Nobody gets injured. Last time we used it, we broke a door before this unit here, and now we're not doing any damage to anything. So with the DCU's help, we'd like to purchase this device.
Do you want to demonstrate, Tom?
No, but you can.
What's that?
He-
Oh, I'm
he
sorry.
said it.
This firefighter Ken White is my assistant here. Sorry about that.
Hello, welcome.
Ken White? Yes, sir. What was your last name? White.
White.
Nice to
Okay.
meet you, Ken. Chief, in the past, was it the I don't know who you would call them in the business, the gurneys, the stretchers, is that what you used to use to get people in and out?
We used to use a chair stretcher similar to this one here,
Right,
but it didn't have a track system.
right.
So you'd have to carry.
We had to carry them.
Yeah.
Physically, there would be two people on each end, and trying to go up a set of stairs. Most times the stairs are like 5 to 6 inches wide, so your footing was a problem. And when you get to the top of the stairs, the angle of trying to get off of the stairs onto the landing was also a problem. To be absolutely honest with you, we've had 7 people injured doing this, and now hopefully we won't have any more injuries. So by buying this device, we should minimize our injuries
Yep.
to our personnel and to the patient itself,
It's safer for them.
and it's safer for everybody. So with the great help of this donation, we'll be able to buy this device.
So this one unit is $6,500?
$6,500.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That is mind-boggling.
Worth every dime, I'm telling you
Well,
right
I'm
now.
I'm not saying it's not worth it, I'm just wondering,
It's expensive.
it is expensive. I mean, the motorized, the strength of the materials and all that kind of stuff. And I see it's got front and back handles in case you do need
Yes.
to lift
Well,
or something like
What
that.
happens is you pull the handles out in the front. A person gets in the front to make sure that it doesn't get stuck or anything like that. He manages to bring the team up forward. The top bar also raises, so as they move backwards to go up the stairs, the person is far enough back so he doesn't get entangled
doesn't
by
get
by
run
the
over.
track. The more you lean it back, the more it grabs a hold of the stairs and brings it up the stairs.
Yeah,
The less you pull on it, the slower it goes. So, and then it does exactly the same thing going the other way. So you can go up and down. So when you go down with the patient, it also brings you down slower and more manageable, so nobody gets hurt.
and do you lean it back so that it's hitting all the ends of the
Yes.
stair treads, or?
Yeah, as you, want to show them how it works? As you sit on it and you want to go up the stairs, that track actually leans back onto the stair tread,
Okay,
and it actually goes onto the stair tread and pulls itself up, or lowers itself.
yeah,
And the two arms come out.
oh, if you need to pick up,
So as I'm walking up the stairs, I'm holding it here so we can manageably walk up the stairs. And if something happens, you can stop. So it's a manageable opportunity to help people get up and down the stairs.
okay. But then, and there's no side rails or anything to keep the person on, you just belt them in?
They're strapped.
What we do is we wrap them with a blanket first,
Yeah,
so we can manage the arms and so forth, so they can't
Oh,
reach
so
out
they're
and grab a
not-
hold of the railing.
yeah,
And then we put on the straps. And once the straps are on and the blanket is on, they can walk right up the stairs with it. As I say, we walked up a 3-foot, 4x4 wall the other day. Walked right up, went up the stairs, went up the second flight of stairs, and nobody got injured. Everything worked. And the patient was very happy because he realizes he's safe when he goes up the stairs.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not pumping away and pushing away
Right.
and wiggling and so forth.
right, yeah.
So.
Very good, awesome. Any other questions?
I'm all
No, it
on
looks
board.
ergonomically safer for you guys,
Yep.
That's
especially
much
the way you
safer, yeah.
demonstrated.
I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be much better for our workers' comp
Yeah, I thought
rates.
when you got the one that you could
Absolutely.
manually carry, that it would be great, but this is even better still, so that's
Yes.
good.
And we're keeping it at the station, so if the ambulances are out and we need it somewhere else, put it in the truck and take it to the call. Then we bring it back and have it at the station, ready for the next one. There's, more patients that we take.
So,
probably 3 or
so
4
when
at
you
a
go
time.
on a call, you need to call back for that in the event
Well,
that
if
you
we have
need
it,
it.
if we're going to a call, we know that we need to bring it, we bring it with us.
Yeah,
If we don't, leave it at the station. If we need it, we'll just, one of us will bring it up to the call.
okay. And it doesn't compact any more than that, or does it fold up any further?
It's approximately 40 pounds. It folds up. The seat actually folds up also. It's about 8 inches
Oh.
wide, 10 inches wide. And then it locks.
So you can throw it in a trunk or something if you
Yeah.
had to, yeah.
We brought it in the back of the car today.
And you said it's only about 40 pounds?
It's about 40 pounds.
Wow.
Does he go with the chair all the time?
Absolutely.
He knows he is.
He's a lot stronger than me.
Well, that's awesome. Sounds like a great opportunity, and thanks very much to Digital for their donation to help us be able to pay for this. One chair, do you foresee needing another one at some time in the future, or just, you think this one will
Probably
be
down-
suffice?
Probably down as we go along, we'll evaluate that as we go along.
How often it's needed and whether or not you need to
Right.
keep it on the ambulance or on
Right.
the rescue truck or something like that.
If
Okay.
If it becomes a problem, then we'll have to go and look forward. But
It's
At
cheaper
this
than
point.
workman's comp.
it certainly is. One injury costs us 200,000, so.
Well, and the pain and suffering of the individual is not worth it either, so that's
No.
definitely a good thing. In your documentation here, you have a list of two different ones, a red and a blue. Is there
It's
any
two-
difference, or just the
Nope,
fact that you
just-
can get it whatever color you
You
want?
can get it either color.
Oh, okay. Either color as long as
We're
it's
gonna
red or
get
blue.
red, because blue's a police color.
It goes with the truck.
Goes with the truck.
That's,
And the new
sounds
truck should be
sounds
here.
good to me.
And the new
Yeah.
truck should be here in September, the end of the month, 30th or so.
The new trucks will be here then?
Yeah, they're
That
in
quick?
Walpole right now, being warranted and set up. We
Very
figure about
good.
2 weeks.
Awesome.
So.
That's encouraging. Well, thanks. If there's no other questions, we need a motion to approve the donation from Digital, is that right? Approve and expend.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve, accept, and expend the donation in the amount of $5,000 from Digital Federal Credit Union to Merrimack Fire Rescue to be used towards the purchase of a Furno Power Stair Chair.
Pursuant to RSA 31:95-B and Charter Article 8-15.
That's what I meant.
That's what I heard. Motion by Andy Hunter, seconded by
Second.
Lon Woods. If there's no further questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? That passes 6-0.
Thank you very much, and thank you,
Nice
Paul,
job.
for helping us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for thinking of the solution.
And with the thank you. You gotta send
Can I
Yeah,
have a
do we,
write down?
we're gonna send a thank you note to
We'll send
Digital?
we'll send another thank you note, but it's, like I said, they've been very
This is their
generous.
third time this year for
This year, and
something.
they've done it every year.
every year regularly.
Every year
Yep.
regularly. They give back to the town.
Awesome. Okay. Next up is a Highway Equipment Capital Reserve Fund withdrawal request submitted by Highway Operations Manager Lori Barrett. Town Council to consider the approval of a request to withdraw $192,407.20 from the Highway Equipment Capital Reserve Fund for the purchase of the replacement of 3 vehicles for use at the Highway Division. Paul, do you want to start this?
Yes. Real quick, I just want to let you know that these trucks were in the CIP for replacement. We had a little difficulty obtaining some bids, so they were actually in last year's CIP that was ending in June. But since it's, the town council can expend money from the capital reserves, we need these trucks for the plowing season, so we'll bring them forward. We did only obtain one bid, which was surprising. One of our other bidders basically said that he was too busy to bid. And we send it out to everybody, and it's the same group of people that bid on these trucks year after year after year after year. And this year, the Dodge Ram came in, the gentleman for Dodge Ram came in with the bid. It's comparable to, I did some searching on the internet for the price of these vehicles. They're comparable pricing to the Fords that we have been buying. So we feel comfortable moving ahead with the bid that we did receive. So Lori will answer more questions and explain exactly what she is planning on replacing.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So we are looking to replace 3 vehicles at Highway. H4 is a 2008 13-year-old 3/4 ton pickup. It's got 109,000 miles on it. H7 is a 2011 10-year-old F350 1-ton dump body. And H10 is a 2008 13-year-old F450 1-ton dump body with 60,000 miles on it. We have chose to transfer H7, the 2011, over to Buildings and Grounds. and trade in BG1, which is a 2005. It's a 16-year-old F450 one-ton dump with 56,000 miles on it. It has passed its livelihood. It's just not fiscally prudent to continue repairing this piece of equipment, so we feel that H7 would be a better fit for buildings and grounds and their operations, and we'll trade in BG1 at this time. H7 will be then traded in when BG1 had been scheduled in 2022-23 fiscal year. So with that, the 3/4 ton pickup will be replaced in kind with the Dodge for $46,055. BG1 will be traded in. It will be traded in for the F3500 with a dump body for $70,758. And the H10 is the F450 one-ton dump body will be traded in for the Ram 5500 with the switch and go body. And we would be looking for the chipper body and a flatbed to go with it. They'll be interchangeable bodies. And that would be for a total of $90,595. So the total is $207,408, and they'll give us $15,000 for all 3 trade-ins. So that will come to the total of $192,408.
And these trucks are coming with brand-new plows.
They do come with plows.
They come with a brand-new plow setup and all the safety lights and things that go along with buying it. It's not just,
Fully equipped.
it's not just going to your local Dodge guy and pulling a truck off the lot.
So all
They're-
3 of
they're
them are
fit up.
plow trucks as well?
All 3 of them are plow trucks.
Okay. They all gonna be different colors, like the ones you're getting rid of, or?
No, the pickup will be white, and the 2 1-tons will be Omaha orange.
Okay. Just curious. Does anybody have any questions? Finley?
I guess you had said we're getting 15,000 for the trade-in
Yes.
for all 3. I hadn't seen that in here, I probably overlooked it, but I was gonna ask Paul, in the old day, we used to auction off, hold auctions at the highway garage. I actually went to one, and the money they got for vehicles was mind-boggling to me. But it sounds like this probably isn't a bad trade-in value. So I plan on asking you if there might be a value in looking into that again.
We do not hold auctions in town anymore. What we hold is an auction called the White Farm. We found that the state does an auction in the fall and in the spring, and we have sent vehicles up there. We send a lot of our police cruisers up there and all our SUVs and some of our pickup trucks. But the shape that these vehicles were in, when we saw that he was giving us $15,000, they're building and grounds especially is at its useful life. We replaced the body about 2 years ago, and now it doesn't lift. It's an electronic motor to lift the bed up in that shot. And then the other truck with 106,000 miles on it is, and it's not easy miles on some of these trucks. They're plowing, they're being used every day for work trucks. It isn't me driving back and forth to work. These trucks get used every day for work trucks. They're, especially the 1-tons, they're got their duties, and they're plowing smaller streets, but they are used. So yes, we do look at sending trucks up to what we call the White Farm for auctions. But with this trade-in of $15,000, we thought that was a very good price for those 3 vehicles.
And that number, if I recall reading it correctly, includes the 192 includes the $15,000.
Trade-in, right. Correct.
Trade-in already, yeah.
Yes.
She said it was 200 and something.
Yep, okay. Thank you.
So these trucks get used all the time, but the 13-year-old truck only has 60,000 miles on it. I mean, they get used but short distances. Is that part of the wear and tear that, from plowing and things like that wears it out so much?
Yeah, the plowing the streets is another animal when you're hitting manholes, and it beats up the truck. The H4 is usually our paint truck, so it's painting crosswalks and hauling our trailer.
Well, that one
That's
at
what it
least
does
has
in the-
109,000 in however many years it's been around, 13 years. The H10, the one ton, seems like it's relatively new with respect to mileage is concerned, but it's 13 years old, and so
Right.
it shows its wear and tear, I'm sure.
And that's true of most of our vehicles. Unlike the PD, which is patrolling the whole town. It's great that the garage is located in the center of town. And we just spoke out to wherever the job site is for the day during the 9 months of the year. And then the bulk of the mileage is put on in the winter when they're plowing. Excuse me. So most of our vehicles tend to be lower mileage, high hour, high workload. Think about hauling around drainage materials, pipe, everything else that we do on a daily basis. They lead a hard life.
Okay. Great. Are there any other questions? Comments? Nancy?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a question, and I might have missed it. There was only one response to a request for a bid. How long a period, like, what was the time frame that you had reached out to get bids?
So we
I have
started
it
this.
here. So the bids went out on June 10th and they were received June 29th.
So just a
And it
month?
was posted,
About
and it
2
was
weeks.
posted in the paper too. So it's not just, and we send them out directly to
Potentials.
potential
Potential bidders.
bidders, dealerships. We send them directly to a lot of them, and like I said, one guy said he's too busy,
Interesting.
and then this guy came in and bid, and the other one's no response. And we even put it in the paper. So for something of this, because we did all three of them together, it was over $10,000. We have a purchasing policy we need to adhere to, and in that purchasing policy says it has to be open for at least 21 days. So we keep it open for that amount of time.
Nancy?
Thank you, I'm just learning the process. So if you reach out to whoever we're considering purchasing the vehicles from, is there a follow-up, or is the expectation that they will just respond if they're interested?
We will look at it and say, we'll call them on it. The other thing we do sometimes is we look at the state bid. And that's the other thing, because the state does do the same thing that we do, but they go out for the state trucks, and we're allowed to piggyback on their state purchases. If you want to talk a little bit about that.
Right. I tried that. That was open for 22 days in February, and then the dealers closed their bids. So I couldn't even get on that. They would not honor state bid at that point. They were overwhelmed.
So there's only a certain period, a point of the year?
And once they're bid, they say they're open for a specific time, but they don't need to honor that. They didn't have to honor it, so it wasn't available for us to go state bid this year.
They usually do the state bid in
Thank you.
October. They get to October, and usually you have to have them ordered by mid-February. And then they close the door for the rest of us, meaning the rest of the towns. The state is the state. They already know how many they're buying when they go out to bid.
Yeah, usually.
So as soon as they get to open the bids, and they buy their trucks right away.
Thank you.
Okay, any other question? Finley?
How did this bid compare to the state prices, or were you able to check into that?
They weren't the same vehicles. So that was, but they were slightly higher, but not considerably.
Okay.
I did have other dealers that wouldn't call back because it was municipal bid, and they know that we anticipate
That
Right.
what? Say it again.
dealers I would speak to dealers, they would say they had things on their lots, and then once you tell them that you're a municipality, they don't want to talk to you anymore because they need to give you a discount. They feel they need to give you a discount. So I was turned away by a lot of dealers.
And they wouldn't even offer a price.
I've seen a lot of vehicles advertised over MSRP lately
Right.
Unfortunately, we're a little bit in the car hunting business, and that is actually advertised over MSRP because there's so little inventory.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And believe it or not, that Omaha orange cost us more money.
Maybe we should change our color.
It just
Well,
blows
just
my
not
mind
red.
because I
Just
don't know
not
who,
periwinkle pink or something like that.
I don't know who would want to drive that Omaha orange vehicle, but it cost us more money to have that color orange.
Well,
Yeah, but,
That's intriguing.
yeah.
Continental does it too, right? I never know if it's a
yeah,
town
the
or
state
Continental.
and everybody
And
else.
state. Amazing. Anyhow,
Okay,
Well, I'm willing to make a motion,
okay.
if everyone is done asking questions anyway. I would make a motion to approve withdrawal and expenditure of $192,407.20 from the Highway Equipment Capital Reserve Fund for the purpose of purchasing replacement vehicles as presented for replacement. I don't think I have to do the three, right? I mean, I don't have to.
No, I don't think you
Name
need to
them.
I mean, as presented
you
here in the meeting
presented-
tonight, we should back it up.
You presented the three for replacement, so
Do you
hopefully it
need,
covers
do
that.
you need permission to do anything, or? Okay. Is there,
We have to make sure it's approved to get it, but also to expend it, so.
and seconded by Lon Woods? You gotta speak up, because if he's waving his hand, I want to recognize.
As long as it gets seconded.
So is there any other discussion on the topic? Seeing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? That passes 6-0. So go get those trucks. Next on our agenda, let me change the page here, is Highway Equipment Capital Reserve Fund withdrawal request. Am I reading the same one? No.
Nope, it's a different
Nope,
one.
different one.
Submitted by the
dump
Highway
truck.
Operations Manager Lori Barrett. The Town Council to consider the approval of a request to withdraw $184,725.00 from the Highway Equipment Capital Reserve Fund for the purchase of a 10-wheel dump truck for use at the Highway Division.
Yes. This truck is used a lot in the wintertime. I remember when we bought this truck, the discussions that were being had about that time. Do we really need a 10-wheel dump truck? Why do we need a 10-wheel dump truck? It's been a lifesaver when they're clearing out parking lots or things of that sort. The 10-wheel dump comes in, they can load it up with the snow, it takes it away. It plows, I believe, Continental Boulevard, am I correct, Lori, and DW Highway? And it's replaced, what we used to plow with was our grader. We used to plow with the grader.
Yeah.
And it's replaced that, and it has extended that useful life of that machine to actually do what it's meant to do. The grader is to grade roads. So Lori is in front of you tonight to explain the need of this replacement of this 10-wheel dump truck.
Okay, H33 is a 2010 10-wheel dump truck. It's 12 years old, and it only has 48,000 miles on it. But it has 5,479 hours on the engine. Oh, sorry. It's 12-year-old dump truck. It has 48,000 miles on it, but it has 5,479 hours on the engine. We have expended about $67,000 in repairs over the life of it, $50,000 in parts and $16,000 in labor. It is our only 10-wheel dump truck. We do haul gravel and materials with it in all summer, and it plows all winter with our equipment operator 3. And again, it's got to that point in its life where the repairs are going to start to cost more than it's worth. They're giving us $30,000 for a trade-in for it, for the purchase.
Finley?
no, I'm totaling up the price in my head. I didn't see the trade-in on either of them actually here, so, it was there, I just missed it completely, but.
No, maybe, I'm sorry, I
No,
didn't.
it's not.
Once again, this truck is coming equipped with a front plow and a wing also.
So it's $215,000.
Yeah, and it has the spreader, embed spreader.
Yeah, it's a
Embed
unibody.
spreader.
It's a unibody.
Unibody spreader in the back, it comes with that. And it comes with all the mechanical devices for salt and for salt management and things of that sort.
All these
And-
software and
All
electronics.
the software and electronics, so it's fully equipped. If we can get it in time to hit the road plowing.
Is this the one that had the computer in it or whatever that was monitoring the road temperature and all that? Or no, that's a six-wheel or more? Several of them?
Several of them.
Yeah, those were six-wheel
Those are
dump
six wheels.
trucks.
Okay.
Yeah, as Lori
This
said, most of our fleet is six-wheel dump trucks. We have the 4 1-tons. How many six-wheel? Bunch of six-wheel
A
dump
bunch of
trucks.
14.
And one 10-wheel dump
We have
truck.
14 six-wheels,
14, thank
110. Yep. And it's also going to be equipped with a liquid system so that we can pre-wet our salts too.
Pre-wet.
Pre-wet our salt.
For brine distribution or whatever, yeah. And this, again, you said 5,000 something hours, which is an important kind of number for diesel engines and stuff, right? Is the hours
Hours
that
on
it
the
goes
engine.
more than the mileage that it goes. Okay, any other questions or motions? Nancy?
I basically just want to make a comment, and I'll follow it with a motion. I think it's important, I mean, I'm looking at the amount of money too, Finley, and it's like, ouch. Because it really is coming out to a total of $377,000 that we're going to be spending tonight, if it passes this one. But we have to remember that we've had this on the CIP, and we've had capital reserve funds. And this is a classic example of why capital reserve funds are so good. Because we know that, again, it's a savings account. If you don't know what the term means for the public, we've been saving in this account for these kind of expenditures. So even though it's gut-wrenching, it's something we've been saving for, and now is the time to purchase it. The other thing is that hopefully the purchasing of this new equipment is going to, life will be extended because of the new facility we have, okay? Which the older ones did not have the benefit of in terms of body and whatever else. So that was just the comment I wanted to make, that this is a classic example. So the town is we're gonna be getting comments, oh, look, we've got all this new fire trucks, we've got new, with that property, but that's the point. The property taxes you have paid in the past is what accommodates that. We don't have to do a bond, which a lot of towns do. They bond the money, and you have to pay interest on it, and so I think the town is in a really good position for that. And we just have to be able to appreciate that even though you hear this, we're able to do it more comfortably. And with that being said, and that's the way I feel about it, so I would approve of this. I'd like to approve withdrawal and expenditure of $184,725 from the Highway Equipment Capital Reserve Fund for the purchase of a replacement of the presented 10-wheel dump truck.
Seconded by Finley? Moved by Nancy and seconded by Finley. Any other comments? I notice here it says that Liberty International is the state bid contract holder, but this one is a different size class or something,
Correct.
so it came under a different category as far as being able to deal with the state bid, or?
Exactly. It's the vehicle weight, gross vehicle weight, and that's the contract that it's under.
The big thing to remember is this is heavy equipment versus a pickup truck.
Yeah.
So Liberty International extends it a little bit longer because it's a bigger piece of equipment. And it's not like everybody's running out there to their, buying a
Buying a 10-wheel truck.
10-wheel dump truck for operations and things of that sort.
Nancy?
Thank you. I just have a question, and I'm sure some of the public is probably wondering as well. All of the purchases, when vast expenditures are being put out to provide for the services that people all want, how are these vehicles being maintained, do we maintain them at here, or are they sent out? I mean, you know, I'm sure everybody's gonna want them to stay in nice condition so that they last, and we don't have to put out huge expenditures like that. So is there a group within DPW that
Yes.
does all the maintenance for all of the vehicles,
Yep,
or?
for these, we get the extended warranty for the engine, but we have an equipment maintenance division within Public Works that maintains all our equipment townwide, and highway vehicles are included in that.
Great, thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Good question.
It is a good question. Every year we go through budget season talking about the different parts of the highway division, and one big piece of that is the maintenance department that works on almost all our vehicles. Some of our fire trucks they can't handle, and they got ship out, or
Pumps.
the pumps, yeah.
They work on all the vehicles, but certain portions of some vehicles get sent out for service.
Okay. But they can maintain our police cars and all that kind of stuff, so.
Hopefully you won't see the fire trucks often.
Not the new ones for a while.
Better not, better not.
Speaking of that, the ladder truck is back.
Oh,
Just
good.
in time for not needing it.
Yeah. Part of the new highway garage was able to accommodate the maintenance being performed on those larger
That's right.
vehicles inside as opposed to having to move the jacks outside. I do recall that.
That's right,
And
too.
hope there's good weather, yeah.
I'm looking forward to the longevity piece of our equipment because of that highway garage.
Yeah, and just speaking back to Nancy's point again, that was one of the commitments we made in our presentations of the highway garage. And the CIP does actually reflect the extended time frame on our six-wheel fleet, and it will now show
Include
the
it.
same extended time frame on these new vehicles.
Okay,
Even
So-
our employees are looking better at DPW with a new facility.
Chipper.
Yeah.
okay. If there's no further comments or questions, we'll call for a vote on purchasing a new 10-wheel dump truck. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? That passes 6-0-0. So go get some new trucks to keep up with the fire department. Thank you. Number 5 on our agenda is consideration of changes to Chapter 92 of the Merrimack Town Code. First reading, submitted by the Town Council's chairs, Tom Koenig and Vice Chair Finley Rothaus. The Town Council to consider the acceptance of recommended changes to Chapter 92 amusement devices of the Merrimack Town Code pursuant to Charter Article 5. Paul, I'm going to let you
Take this
start
one?
this.
Okay. It's a lot of changes, just one. Right now, you're allowed 25 amusement devices. Those are, I'm gonna age myself. Tetris, Space Invaders, there's a lot, the motorcycle games, the racing games. Like I said, I'm gonna age myself. I haven't been to
I said pinball.
pinball machines,
I'm
there
that
you
much
go.
older.
So what we're looking to do is we had a vendor in town, a business in town, not a vendor, but a business in town come to us and ask us if we would expend from 25 to 30 of these games, amusement devices. 25 was a number that was put in the ordinance when we first began. We said, let's see how it goes. There has been no trouble with any of these devices or this business that is looking to expand. The police department is behind this and is in agreement that if the council so chooses to move this on to a public hearing to move it up to the 30 devices, they're behind it as well. So that's basically it on this one. It's not a large ordinance, so to speak, and that's the only change, is to just change that from 25 to 30.
It's funny what 25 years tends to do, or whenever we came up with this, it seems like it was 25 years ago, because I think times change, because it seems almost silly to me, but.
That was before computer games.
Right, so right now, the kids have it,
That's
they
right,
walk
there was-
around town with it in their pocket, but, but yeah, it was, what, trouble starts with T, that rhymes with
P,
P,
it stands for
pool.
pool. Yep.
So,
Yeah, yeah. I remember that one
Aging
too.
ourselves
Yes,
now.
absolutely.
Music
But-
man, and here we come.
Yep.
Um,
So that's basically it for chapter 92 of the town ordinance. If the council so sees fit to moving this forward, it would move to a public hearing on the 9th of September.
So the only change is on section 92-2, moving the number from 25 to 30.
Correct.
Everything else stays exactly
Every-
the same. Licensing, management plans,
Yep.
license terms, denial, all that stuff is unchanged at this point.
Correct.
And this is recommended by the police department. They haven't had any trouble or issues or concerns
Nope.
and have no problem with it. So if there are any other questions or comments, shall we move this? Did you have a
I
question?
was just gonna move it to.
Oh, go ahead.
To a public hearing on the date that Paul suggested.
September 9th, I think it was.
Right, I think that's our next meeting, September 9th.
Yeah.
So moved.
So moved. Okay.
Just make
Is
sure.
there
you
a
knew-
second?
Just make sure you knew it was a motion.
Seconded by Nancy. Motion by Finley and seconded by Nancy to move the adjustments, changes to Chapter 92 amusement devices to a public hearing, second reading on September 9th. If there are no other comments, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstained? 600. And that takes care of that. Which brings us to the minutes. We have minutes to approve from the July 15th Town Council meeting. And Barbara's not here tonight, so hopefully everybody's read and studied them.
Second.
Minutes of Thursday, July 15th, moved by Lon Wood, seconded by Nancy. Does anybody have any changes or adjustments? So I would just suggest that on page 3, after line 38, where it talks about legislative updates from state reps, it starts the letter that we read into the minutes. If we could just insert a line that said from Janine Nodder, so that when you get to that point, you know what you're looking at. Although it is signed at the end by Janine Nodder, it just seems like it would be appropriate to say who was making the presentation.
I
at the
circled
beginning.
it, wondering who
Oh,
it
did
was, and then I saw on the back,
Oh, okay,
so I agree.
good. If there are no other, if that's okay, and there's no other adjustments, we'll move the minutes with that correction. And did somebody make that motion? Somebody made the motion.
Lon did.
Lon did? Lon made the motion and somebody seconded it, and I don't remember already.
I'll second.
Nancy?
I can't remember. Someone else doing it, right?
Okay, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? 600. It's, which brings us to comments from the press. They're not here. Comments from the public. They're not moving. Comments from the council. Anybody have any comments for the meeting?
Now, we're gonna have a meeting before the September 11th, right?
That is
No.
We
correct.
are having a meeting before, the night
That is
before.
correct.
We meet
I
on
just
the-
really, I guess, I really would like to, and that doesn't give us much time. I know you're gonna be doing what you're gonna do in terms of advertising. But I really would encourage the public to try to go to that memorable, memorial
Memorial.
on the 11th. I think it's, right now, the country needs it. And those veterans also need it. We need to be able to demonstrate as a community our appreciation. So I just would encourage everybody.
Yeah, it seems like a long way off, but it's not.
But it's not. We're only going to be a couple of days before, so I thought I'd take advantage of the opportunity to,
So again,
make that
September
push.
11th at 8:30 in the morning
Yes, at
at Abbey
Abbey
Griffin
Griffin
Park.
Park, right,
Okay, and then there'll be another service that evening.
that evening, and I'll get that time.
great.
Okay. Any other comments? Paul?
If, please indulge me. At the last meeting, we talked about the money that we received from the federal government from March. And I didn't want to leave it as the impression that MVD wasn't looking for money. We had a myself and the superintendent down there had a conversation, and I said to him, I think the money is spoken for. meaning because I knew we were bringing forward the screenings building, the majority of the money would be spoken for. So that is why they haven't put any formal request into the town for any of that money. And I just wanted to get that on the record, that that's what happened. It wasn't that they're just, oh, we don't want any of your money. It was more of they knew, and $400,000 for a water project is not a lot of money. So, thank you for indulging.
Okay, thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Lon Woods, seconded by Andy Hunter. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? That passes 6-0. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, Merrimack.